All right, welcome to this week's episode of Southern Hang Podcast, where we're talking basketball. We're talking basketball. We're talking basketball with my good friend Samantha Williams. Hey now, welcome boys. This is welcome to the show. Samantha Williams, my good buddy, my longest friend in Kentucky. D1 coach from Mississippi State Bulldogs women basketball program. Welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have my good friend on the show. So welcome Samantha, and then meet the fellows from Southern Hang.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Samantha, you got the next verse?
Singing for me. No, I can't follow that up.
Wouldn't want to.
Man, I did that a few times at home doing the practice, and I was a little nervous about it. So hope that turned out all right. But yeah, I thought
Tammy
that'd be a
let you
decent
do
little
that.
intro.
Tammy let you like that.
We're doing early this morning, so and she's upstairs, so still getting going with her coffee. So I don't know if she knows what's she.
I bet like playing air guitar for a band. I bet you were doing like the air crossover when you were singing that to Tammy and the kids.
She's Samantha's been with me longer than Tammy, so they both equally know how much knucklehead I am. So they just shake their head and walk away. They're like, yeah, there's no control in this. Well, hey, let me before we dive in and do some stuff, I got some gushing I want to do here on my good friend Samantha. So me and Samantha go back up. We're not going to reveal ages. So that, but we've been together since 15. Samantha is my oldest, dearest Kentucky friend in the world. We met at Manual High School. That'd probably be 80. I guess that would date us, but 88, 87, somewhere around there. Yeah. But here's some gushing on Samantha. So Samantha was a first team parade and street and Smith All-American USA Today top 25 honoree while playing at Manual. Graduated there. Graduated there, went to Auburn. And at the time there, she was the all-time three-point record setter with 161 threes. Finished her career with 1,106 points, 495 rebounds, 323 assists. After Auburn, she played one season for the American Basketball League San Jose Lasers, the pro women's league that was pre-WNBA, and then WNBA came in, but she played there. She's played or coached all kinds of pro teams or pro players, and has traveled all over the world. It's like one of my favorite questions to get to ask Samantha is like, Sam, you ever played in Japan? You ever played in Germany? She's always so humble. She's like, yeah, I played there. So feel free to throw out like random spots and just see if we can find a place that Samantha has not been. Her passport's incredible. And then she has coached big time programs. She has coached at Auburn, Duke, Louisville, head coach EKU, Tennessee, and currently at Mississippi State. And most importantly, my favorite stat of Samantha is that she befriended a lost Texas boy on his first day at Manual High School, and if he wouldn't have found her, he wouldn't have had anybody to sit with at lunch on his first day at school. So that is my favorite thing about Samantha. So yeah, so feel free to open it up and let's catch up with Samantha Williams.
Samantha, appreciate you joining us here.
Oh, like I said, I'm happy to be here. It's always great to see Craig, and then anybody that he calls friends, I want to be friends with as well.
So when you're thinking about your coaching career, who would you say is been the biggest influence on your career, and why is it Jeff Walls?
Well, now that you say that, he has been a tremendous influence in my career. I just talked to him, I believe, 3 days ago. We're just talking about how crazy this business has become over the last few years, and I also consider him a friend as well. He's an advocate, and obviously he's been very successful, and I continue to learn from him. But I would say Jeff is definitely one of them. I've been blessed to be work with some tremendous people. People are going to be in the Hall of Fame. Jeff is definitely going to be in the Hall of Fame, and when I look back at my career, because I did that this year, I just realized how blessed I have been. And then to work at Louisville with Jeff, being from Louisville, that was a special, special time. I can remember when we in 13 when we beat Baylor, and we got picked to be in the Derby parade, and I'm riding in the fire truck, right, or whatever truck we're in, and I just looked in the crowd, and I remember being the little kid who used to look at the people in the parade.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
You know, you referenced that Baylor game. You know, our listeners are used to, you know, talking about our silly music takes and stuff. you should probably talk about how good that Baylor team was and how special that victory was.
People often ask me what's the greatest game or win in my career, and I always say that because what people don't know is that when we in December in practice that year, we talked about, you know, if we ever played Baylor, and Jeff just flat out said, we're going to shoot 53s. And he called it. We're going to shoot 53s. And sure enough, obviously, you know, they're in our bracket, and we saw it, and we planned for it. And one of Jeff's greatest strengths is he can get kids to believe in things, and he had those kids believing. And it was just so magical, that run. And watching Jeff do his thing.
And that was that they were like undefeated. That was the Brittany Griner team.
That
right?
was they were the defending national champs. I think they had lost one game that year, Stanford, but they were the odds-on favorite. There's no way in the world that we should have beat them. We had like 7 players. We had lost 3 or 4 players to season-ending injuries, and then obviously they had multiple McDonald's All-Americans. So that, like I said, that run was it's the greatest run in my career, anyway.
And that and that was the Final Four team, right? Like
we went all the way to the national championship game that year.
Yeah, as like a 4 or 5 seed.
That was
right?
5 seed.
Yeah.
What was the final number? How many threes did we check up that game?
I think it was either 16 to 18.
Okay.
Wow.
And we actually practiced that whole week of how we were going to get them, because we knew Griner, you know, how she came out on ball screens. We actually had a plan for all of them. And then, you know, he told the kids, you got to open shot, shoot it. And if the kids believed, you know, upstairs mentally, they were on board for that.
And you had an extremely strong point guard in Shoney, right? Just like wouldn't back down. That highlight that she had versus Brittany with, what was that, reverse layup? And
every now and then,
like in she got like kind of in her face and just like pumped, like juiced on it. That highlight's awesome.
Yeah, every now and then I have to watch that game just to watch how crazy it was, and then how they came all the way back. But sure enough, you know, we still found a way. So it's definitely like I said, one of the greatest moments in my career.
Yeah, and then
awesome.
and your current head coach Sam Purcell. That's where y'all found each other, right?
We actually
y'all were
worked
both
together at Auburn. So
okay.
Yeah, he was the video coordinator, and I was assistant coach. And I've known him for 20 years. And then when that job came open at Louisville, I recommended him to Coach Walls. And Coach Walls went out. Jeff didn't know him at all. And but I said, Jeff, if Sam is not the right one for the job, you can fire me. And Jeff, he believed me. Thank goodness Purcell came through.
Sam, you mentioned Brittany Griner, so I'm going to throw out the first country just to see where you've been. Have you played in Russia?
I have not been in Russia.
Oh,
I did not think. I thought for sure that would be one that was there. Is that a help us out on that a little bit when you're traveling, when you're doing other countries? What are you playing? Who are you playing? Is that the leagues that you're in? Where were you playing, and how was that happening?
That was just either exhibition teams, national teams, or stuff like that. USA basketball.
Gotcha.
And
Awesome.
was it the USA Junior Olympics?
It was
Is that right?
back in
Because you played Junior Olympics, correct?
Yeah, something
Junior
like
Olympic
that.
team?
Because they have different divisions and age groups, and I think Taiwan is where we went to play.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome.
In particular with
That's
that
awesome.
team.
I know Craig said we're not going to talk about ages, right? We're all kind of in the same box, I think. But do you still lace them up and try to teach the kids a thing or two, or just to keep it?
I can still shoot. Now,
Yeah.
running up and down the court is a little tricky now these days. I tried to do that back in December, and I think I tore some cartilage. So,
I did that walking down the stairs this morning, so all good.
I got to stretch a little bit more now. You can't just go out there and do what you used to be able to do.
Buddy, number 55 in high school. Man, that was game time. That was all hands on deck. Freshman year, well, I wasn't there freshman year, but sophomore year through senior year, that was it was don't miss show. Everybody went to the women's, all their games, and number 55 lit it up. Like, it was so much fun to watch her. She was deep, she's posting people up, she's blocking shots. Yeah, man, it was so much fun. I had a number 55 on one side picture, and then I flip it around and it had Samantha's face on the other side. We'd take it. We go, man, we went on all the road games, we went everywhere. They were a amazing team the whole time we were there, and just top to bottom. Unfortunately, we never got state, but we got close.
Yeah,
we got
I look back at that, Craig, and I was looking at all that, and Louisville girls basketball back then was pretty special. I'm still friends with Lisa Harrison, and
I saw you just ran into her, didn't you? Y'all just saw each other on the road. I saw that on social media.
Just ran into her, and obviously she's considered probably the all-time greatest player to come out of Louisville, if not Kentucky. But we just look back at that time, and there were some pretty special players and pretty special times back then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she came out of Southern, and that she was a heck of a squad. Yeah, and I know Samantha doesn't want to reflect on the national or the state championship, but sophomore year, Clay County. and
too soon.
We're
too
loaded.
Soon.
Too soon. Too soon. That was good. That's 30 years ago, but hey, too soon.
Yeah, we're loaded, and this little girl from Clay County throws up a half court chuck with no time left to hit the game winning shot to beat Manual in the state championship. Oh man, it was a heartbreaker, and they were loaded. Gwen, you had Gwen Doyle, and then what was your senior? What was her?
Probably Ramonda James.
Ramonda, that's it, Ramonda.
6'4",
yeah,
6 foot, 6'2". We were pretty for girls basketball back then. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
Wow. As soon as Craig brought it up, I could feel it in your face. Like, it just immediately just.
I knew it didn't go well.
That's truly one of the most devastating. You talk about greatest wins, one of the most devastating losses in my career.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, being part of the game today, you mentioned in 2013, Walls said, okay, the way to beat Baylor is chucking up a bunch of threes. Seems like that's the game now, where it's layups and threes. You like where the game is?
I do. I think players they're just at our level, they're a lot more skilled. And, sometimes I wonder, like, if I had a trainer back then, what would I have been like? These kids today, they are skilled. I don't know if more athletic, but they're definitely more skilled. They play a little bit different, but I love where the game is today. I think, women's basketball, girls basketball is at its all-time high in terms of exposure. and visibility. And so I'm pleased where the game is right now, playing wise.
Yeah. Coaching
So that
wise,
gets us.
yeah. Go ahead,
Coaching
Sherman.
wise, now that this NIL stuff and this transfer portal stuff, I'm sure we'll get to that, but it has been turned on its head. The whole deal.
Well, let's get to it. That's I think,
Yeah.
yeah. I think the NIL. A lot of people see this and hear about it. Name, image, likeness. I think it's a household acronym now. Not even just words, but talk to us a little bit about how that affects at the D1 level, how that's affecting you guys.
Well, I think initially, I don't know if it was initially thought it was going to be what it's turned into be. I think what the intent was for if a player had the brand, the ability to go out and make money from, let's say, jersey sales or being a commercial or, to be able to profit off of their brand. But now it's become pay for play. And that's basically what it is, pay for play. And I think part of the problem, I have no problem with players getting paid. What the issue is in collegiate sports right now is that there are no guardrails. There are no rules. There are no, like the professional sports don't even do what college does right now. Kids can jump year to year if they want right now. And again, I'm not saying if a kid's in a bad situation, but you combine pay for play in addition to being able to transfer year to year, a kid can literally go to 4 different schools. If a school, hey, I can, I'll pay you this much more. They can jump from school to school. So I think it's a combustible situation where it's just, I think it's a little bit of a mess right now, but I think in the coming years they'll get it under control. But it's basically, it's the have and the have-nots. And
well, SEC helps, right?
Oh no, yeah, the SEC definitely helps. And what's going on right now until the House settlement becomes law is, I don't know if the term front loading, I don't know if you've heard that, is that what teams are able to do right now. If they've got let's say I have $500,000 right now and I want to go get player A, I can give them all that money and it not go on the cap. Because teams, what they have to do is declare the percentages that they're going to give each team, each sport. But until that happens, schools can throw as much money as they want to right now at players. And that's why you'll see you hear schools saying they have a $10 million budget, $20 million budget. So that's part of the chaotic nature of it right now.
Right. And nobody's wanting to do, everybody believes that the kids should have money.
Yes.
We're not saying that. I agree.
Yeah.
It's just the structure of how, bargaining chips.
The structure is, right. And then, like I said, I think kids, if a school wants to pick a player off, I think there should be buyouts. I think there should be, situations where there are some kind of, not penalties, but consequences.
Yeah.
There are
contractual obligations, right?
Correct.
Like, hey, the intent is that you're here for 4 years or 3 years or whatever the number is. And to your point, they get bought out. Yeah. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. I think I saw in a men's program where somebody had signed their contract and now they've jumped ship and possibly that's a new thing where the school may be going after the player. Is that, am I making that up?
No, I think I know who you're talking about. I think I know. I don't know. I don't want to say any names wrongly.
No, and I don't recall who it was. I just remember reading the article saying that like they were upset that he had signed his contract and then he jumped ship and then now they were at least debating on if that is a thing that they wanted to approach.
Because part of the problem is because all contracts are different. Some kids get their money earlier within their contract. Some you get it at the end, to make sure that you stay. But if you're getting your money in early and you get that money, you can just leave that school, and that school is
wow.
Before even playing again.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Samantha, how has NIL changed? Obviously, it's changed recruiting. But years ago, I'm sure recruiting was all about the school and facilities and relationships. How much does that still come into play, or is it really just more of a, hey, how much money can you get me and let's go play ball?
I don't know the percentages, but I think unfortunately it has become more transactional. I do believe that I know we try to put deposits in the, well, no pun intended, deposits in the bank relationship wise with these kids and develop strong relationships and try to outwork people. But at the same time, I do think we are losing some of that part of recruiting, because at the end of the day, you could just, if you hear a number that someone's getting offered, you could just say, hey, I'll pay you XYZ more. And sometimes kids are just hopping to the highest number.
When I think you end up,
go ahead,
go ahead, Red. I think you end up with some of these kids. You end up with some of these kids too that are sophomores, juniors that you might have used or not used is not the right term, but they might have helped you recruit, right?
Yes.
Because you're coming in to play with someone who's at a different level. If I'm coming in as a freshman, I'm getting to learn from this junior, the senior. I'm going to be with them for a year or two as I'm kind of coming up. Now it's kind of, I want to play immediately.
Yes.
I'm going from there. So I guess you're seeing, or that has to affect where you guys are going. Can you talk a little bit about what that is even like now compared to your recruiting before?
No, that's a great point. That's a good, because we talked about that as a staff, is that I think gone are the days that you can bring in kids to say watch them develop, or bring in big classes where those kids might not necessarily play as much because, like you said, there used to be a time when you could have a roster and you're like, okay, I have a junior at that spot and I have a freshman at that spot. If that junior is playing more than the freshman, then the freshman's going to leave. But if junior is also watching, like, if that freshman plays more, then I'm just going to leave. So I think it's basically come down to it's year to year. You cannot count on having a kid for 2 years. You got to recruit. You got to have a lot of options ready to replace a kid that's going to leave at the end of the year.
And is it what's the percentage now that you would say, like back in the day, it was pretty much, I would assume you obviously know better, but I would assume it was high school only. Now it's D2 and your or other transfer, so like percentage of high school recruiting versus, hey, this person is possibly leaving or looking to leave next year and transfer in. How does and is that a bad thing to be recruiting a person that's already out of school? Like, how's that? Like,
technically, I can't say you do that because I'll get in a whole lot of trouble.
Heck yeah.
Okay. Well, that's
the rules, Greg. Come on.
I have no clue. That's why I'm like, well, how does that? Because
But I will tell you, I mean, if you're not looking at people who you've recruited in the past and they did not come to your school, and they're not playing as much, you're keeping it in your mental Rolodex. Possibility. I think coaches do that. Coaches recruit knowing if I don't get that kid, I may get them on the second go around.
Do you find it easier to go after like other schools or Division II as opposed to the high school just because they're a known entity? Like, you understand how they're going to perform at that level as opposed to what could happen coming out of high school?
Unfortunately, yes. I think the percentages of freshmen that can really come in at the highest level and make a difference, the percentages are low. You do have those kids, let's say, Sarah Strong at UConn, for example. I think she was pretty special. And there was also a kid, Joyce Edwards at South Carolina, that, there's a reason why those teams, they're among the top freshmen in the country. But I think that's rare. And I think colleges do have to, because the pressure is on, you got to win. We do have to look at those kids that we know have played at this level and have experience.
Well, I got so switching to still the recruiting,
Sure.
but maybe a little more lighthearted. But I don't know if any of y'all are following Samantha on TikTok or social media, but like her TikTok presence is legit. Like she got some good. She put some good social media out there. So I don't know if you're following any of that, but man, you were fun to watch. Does social media.
And people crack up at that, Craig, because you know my personality.
Yeah.
I'm not, but I think that came about during COVID, actually.
Yeah.
And we were stuck in our houses, and I just decided to do it, and it took off.
Yeah.
So I'm not on TikTok. Tell me more here. Are we, because I get enough trouble with reels on Facebook. I actually saw last night, it was a video of Nick Saban in a living room, and they were all doing the electric slide, right? The whole family of 20, 25 people on a recruiting trip. Mm-hmm. So what are we working with here on TikTok? Are we dancing? Are we promoting?
We're dancing. I try to make it basketball related. And I think one of the reasons why it does okay is because it's real and people can identify with the situations. And that's where the recruits are. That's part of. I'm always thinking recruiting. How can I connect with kids and families? So that's one of the reasons why I decided to do it.
You mentioned the families. When you're recruiting, how important is it, and especially with NIL? And I'm not that you have to get into any detail here, but when you're talking to the families, give us some of the concerns, the things that they're bringing up to you that many people may not know outside of the recruiting process.
Do you mean the parents' concerns for?
Well, just if the parents are looking at you're going to have their daughter for at least the next year under your control and under your supervision, things along those lines. I mean,
I think obviously playing time. They want their most of them want their kids to play, but the biggest thing that I've come across over the years is that parents just want to know that you're going to take good care of their kid. I think parents are more educated, certainly more than my mother didn't know anything about basketball. But I think a lot of parents today are just well aware of what opportunities are ahead, and they want to know, are you going to take care of them? Are they going to graduate? What kind of environment are they going to be in? What's the culture like? So they want to make sure that their players are going into a good situation for their mental health, because mental health is a thing, so they want it to be a healthy environment for their child.
That sounds like the same interview questions Miss Sonia was giving you there when Craig transferred from Texas. Are you going to take care of my boy? Is he going to graduate?
After the very first day of school, it was me and Samantha, and I was like, come on. So she was riding home with us, and me and Samantha were, picking up in the morning and riding home. Mom was picking me and Samantha up, and man, Samantha was with us. We were going everywhere, going on trips with Grandma.
You showed me that picture. Did I go to Texas with you or something? Where did we go?
We went to that picture. We got a picture that I was going through. I don't even know where I found it. I was going through, old photos I had found, and there's a picture of me and Samantha and my grandma, and I believe we went to Indy. I think we drove up to Indy one day and just went shopping. Went shopping that day with my grandma to whatever that mall is in downtown Indianapolis. But we were young, boy, and
Hey,
is Sam the reason that you're a U of L fan? I just thought about that. You've told this story before that when you came from Texas up, you were U of L UK. You heard about and then you would have met Sam. Is Sam, are you a U of L fan? I should have started.
Well,
did you grow up a U
I
of L
grew
fan?
up a U of L fan. I did.
Okay.
I did. One of the but the program wasn't the program it is today. Back when I played, so and one of the issues was Louisville was right across the street from Manual, and so you lose that aura in a college campus when you see something every day. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to go away.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's actually my freshman year, which I thought was funny. The when you sign up for the dorms to go to, you register for your on-campus living accommodations, the cover photo of my freshman year at U of L, I'm walking on campus, and my dad's like, and Samantha, you may be on that picture too. And there's a few of us, and with Manuel, I don't think Manuel can go back and get mad at us now, but we used to cut and we'd go and play ball at U of L on their campus. We'd go play basketball over there, and so there's a picture, and there's like 5 or 6 of us walking across campus. At U of L. My dad's like, "This is cool. How did you get on the cover? How did you get on the cover?" I go, "Dad, that was last year, and I'm cutting class to go play basketball." I'm like, that wasn't even me being on freshman year, and I'm at U of L. It was just by accident that we're on there. But yeah,
that's funny.
That's good stuff. So we kind of I think you were led into maybe a possible good vote of your favorite coaches of all time, but we give us some, because I know your Auburn coach was one of your big guys, and then unfortunately you lost recently your head coach from Manual here recently, but give us a couple other people that were huge influences on your career and
sure.
And in basketball, and maybe even not even in basketball, just other.
Doug Bruno at DePaul. He just recently retired. He was a huge influence on me. I was, probably maybe 29, 30 years old when I went to him, and just a family guy and someone who I think my offensive thinking comes from him, because he really taught me the game. He taught me a lot about offense and how to teach kids. So I'm appreciative of him. Oh, goodness gracious. Back to my college coach. The ironic thing about my college coach at Auburn is actually Sam Purcell's father-in-law. I don't know who I work for now. Yes. So, he still comes around. I actually talked to him last week. And obviously he's a big influence on me, not just as a player, but as a coach as well, because I'm still in contact with him.
It's amazing how everything comes full circle almost.
Yep, absolutely. And then, someone who I didn't play for, but I still think about what she would do is Pat Summitt. I was recruited by Tennessee and almost went there, but I tore my ACL in high school, and some issues with all that. But I still look to what she would do and follow her. What she thought of as a coach and her culture, and she's a big influence still as well.
Fierce competitor.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So
how about like a 15-second, just throw out some of the ball players that you coached that are now like WNBA, because you've coached all kinds of amazing ball players, and so or that you keep up with, or maybe you crossed them up.
I don't know if I crossed them up. Not so much anymore. Well, Allie Quigley, I'll start with her. I don't know if you guys know her. She's a 3-time WNBA 3-point contest winner. She's widely considered one of the best shooters to ever play in the WNBA. Coached her, Asia Durr, as you all know, that played at Louisville. Recently, Rakia Jackson, who made the all-rookie team this past year, I coached her at Tennessee. Goodness, I can go down the line. Jasmine Thomas, coached her at Duke. Multiple all-WNBA team, defensive team. So it's just a few.
You mentioned Asia Durr. Do I remember that she had a tough battle with long COVID? Like, is she doing okay now?
She did. She sure did. It was over a year, I want to say, which really kept her out of the league. And then, she came back after that, but I don't think was ever really the same.
She was an amazing player.
Yes, great college player.
Hey, you've referenced some of the schools, and I don't know if culturally is the right question here, but looking at your resume, so you've been in Ohio Valley, ACC, SEC, you've played in the SEC. How different are the conferences as they compare, or is there a difference?
That's a great question. Great question. I think the SEC has been known to be a much more physical league, and I do believe that is the case. As you look, especially this year, this league this year was absolutely brutal. It was brutal. In addition to adding Texas and Oklahoma, and we had 2 teams in the Final Four. We often tell people, if you come here and play in this league, you're going to compete for a national championship if you can get through it. And then having coached in the ACC, I don't want to say, it's going to sound bad if I say it's a little bit more finesse, but it is. It's still a great league, though. There's a lot of skilled basketball players in the ACC. I think the only conference I haven't coached in is the Big Ten, which is supposed to be a more methodical league. But it's definitely a thing that I think the SEC is a physical league. However, this past year was interesting because this past year we had more teams that pressed. Like the new coach at Tennessee, they're pressing. They press for 40 minutes. Texas presses. Ole Miss, they press. So it's a league that has different styles. And like I said, if you can make it in this league, you got a chance to compete for a national championship.
Nice. We've been talking a lot about the past. What kind of team you got coming up this year?
Well, that is a great question also, because we got a little bit decimated by the portal. We had one of our post players go to South Carolina, but we've reloaded. We're confident that, one of the things in this new portal era, the players and the coaches that can come together quicker and gel quicker are the teams that usually do well, because it is, you're having to learn each other's ways. And I think we should be pretty good this year, but the league is going to be tough again. So a lot of great players transfer into the league. So it's going to be another tough year.
So we're off season right now. Are you actively, I mean, obviously you're coming to us from your office, but are you like, what's day to day that you're doing right now besides not coming home to hang out with me?
I almost did. I'm actually coming home. I'm coming home next weekend.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'll be in Louisville next weekend. But right now, it's more or less just getting organized, getting ready, because we're still recruiting. I guess travel teams, AAU ball. We just came back from that this past weekend, and then we're going back out in the 3rd week in May, and then getting ready for camps. But May is a downtime right now. That we are thankful for, because the portal is 30 straight days of chaos. But before you know it, we'll be right back at it.
Okay. And when are we going to our next concert? Because
I've been looking.
We've done some good shows. We did Pink here most recently, which Tammy still gives me crap about that, because she's like, "Oh, okay, you're gonna go to the Pink concert." I'm like, dude. Samantha says she's got a spot and I can hang out with Samantha for a night. I'm going. I don't care what event it is. And I was blown away. And I had no idea, but we've done Pink.
Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, U2. Ty goes giving everybody back to some music ties. So I've gone to some amazing concert with Samantha. So great stuff.
I feel like we normally save this for the end, right? So it's Samantha. I don't know if you've listened to the podcast, but some of us love music. I enjoy music, but
same.
If you had, I don't even know the right question here. I don't know if you could tie it to basketball. I mean, after Craig's intro, I don't know if you could top it. But is there a song you would like to add to our playlist? Like maybe it's a group or a song that you listen to that maybe it's hype music, maybe it's something easy going. Just kind of level set.
Whoa, that's
what's
a tough question right there because it could go many different ways.
Yeah.
what's on the playlist right now? Yeah, you're.
I'm a little speechless right now. You
He's
got
too busy recruiting.
We threw you.
The portal for a mind. He's like, I can't think about music now.
Yeah, well, let's table that. We'll come back to that, but just know we're coming back to that.
Okay.
But, so let me ask you this question. So
Sure.
you talked about players. You guys got hit pretty hard in the transfer portal this year. Given the way the sport is today with travel basketball, historically speaking, when we grew up, you referenced seniors, juniors. There was something to having those upperclassmen because they had experience, they could handle the pressure. The way the game is today, does it give the same, I don't say credibility, but for the upperclassmen or are the freshmen and sophomores coming in because they now have travel ball experience, are they able to step into the spotlight and make some of that immediate impact?
That's a really good question. I'm not sure on that. I'm not sure. I could tell you that later because it's interesting because we just signed 5 kids out of the portal, but we also have a freshman class coming in that is ranked in the top 10, and they're expected to play. So,
player dependent, like maybe it's what kind of motor they have.
What kind of, that's the number one thing. You gotta have a motor at this level. I've seen kids just turn out they come in highly ranked or whatever, and because they don't have a motor, they usually don't make it. They usually don't, and this was my 23rd year of coaching, and I can say 100% if a kid doesn't have a motor coming in, they probably will not do well.
Well, all right. Well, while you're still tabling the music conversation, back in the day, you were a big tennis fan.
Yeah,
Loved watching tennis, and you is that still a passion of yours? You still keep up with?
I do. I don't keep up with who the players are, but I love to watch.
Yeah.
And I think if I didn't play basketball, I might have been an okay tennis player. My bucket list is to go to the U.S. Open. But the problem is that it always coincides with the start of school, and so I never find the time to go. But that is going on my bucket list for sure.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, yeah. Our games at Iroquois Park were pretty good. So that was, yeah.
I was waiting for this to veer toward pickleball somehow. I was like, this is going to go to pickleball. Please don't go to pickleball. Please don't go to pickleball.
Are we pickleball players here?
I play, and then our boy now is ate up with pickleball. So that's basically it's work and pickleball, and then maybe he sees his family. But that's. But yeah, he's ate up with it.
I've been told I need to play.
Yeah, you enjoy it, but it's good sport. But I just know back in the day we used to talk tennis quite a bit.
We did.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna have to put you on the spot now on that music. Just give us what's on the playlist, because we probably need to let you get back to your real life and not be held up by us knuckleheads asking dumb questions.
Well, I'm gonna go and look right now, because the problem with my playlist is that I'm all over the place.
We like that. So is our playlist.
Yeah, it's a sign of a good playlist.
That's absolutely.
And you're gonna laugh, and I just listened. Oh gosh, this just show you how chaotic. I just listened to Toby Keith, my list. I kid you not. Okay. But I listen to gospel. Yeah. I listen to rap. On my bucket list to go to, I still haven't gone to a Coldplay concert though. Correct.
Oh, okay. All right.
When you say rap, are we talking old school rap, like 90s,
both.
like when we grew up, or more recent? Both.
Let's see what I had. I had. You ever heard of Mask Off?
No,
I have not.
I have heard of Mask Off. I'm not real familiar, but I know the name.
I have my teenage son. He probably knows.
Yeah, that's on my playlist. It's literally all over the place. It's a little chaotic, but that's my brain.
You got one song that is you're on a treadmill. You're in the gym, whatever it is. It's your song to push you through. What song you going with?
I knew you.
We're just putting you on the spot too much. Sorry.
I don't know.
Oh, it's all good. You gave us enough. I loved hearing all your stuff, and but man, this is awesome. And for the viewers at home, my nose wiping and eye wiping the whole time just to see my girl Samantha and get to talk to her. I've been teary eyed the whole time. So this has been so much fun. She is my person. I love you, Samantha. So thank you for coming.
Oh, I got one. Maybe it's living on a prayer.
Oh, yeah. Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
We'll take that.
All right.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Living on a prayer.
I just listened to what is his the Stranger Things. What's her name? His daughter-in-law. I just listened to a podcast. That's
Millie Bobby Brown.
Millie Bobby Brown. That's his daughter-in-law. She married his son. I thought that was listen to her on a podcast here recently. So that was
she cool. Like takes in like animals. Doesn't she? Like she got a weird.
She got a whole farm and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
But in a good way. But like she's not crazy cat lady that has like 50 cats in her house, but like she's adopting them and getting them chipped and then putting them up for adoption, like finding homes. Like she's doing it in a good way, I think.
Yeah. In Southern Hang fashion, we went from our guest and talking about her straight to Millie Bobby Brown or some obscure topic. So
and cat ladies.
Well, Samantha, thank you for coming on the show. I'm so happy we get to. Obviously, I love seeing you and hanging out always, but this is fun. I appreciate you coming on the show, and you are our second live guest now.
Oh wow!
So we're trying to do that more often, and you're helping us become maybe a little have a little better notoriety and get better street cred here. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, and now let's all give Craig a hug. He needs a hug.
Yeah, I need it. Well, good. Well, hit me up next weekend when you come in town. Let's see if we can get together. We'll go get some dinner or do something. Hang out.
Absolutely.
I'll see if I can find us a concert to go to or something.
Please do. I need one. Find us.
Right. Well, love you.
Appreciate your time. Good luck to you guys this year.
Thank
you.
All right. Absolutely.